All right, welcome everyone to the AI Builders Masterclass. This is the very first edition of the AI Builders Masterclass, and this is coming after we had a successful AI Builders Weekend, which was a physical class, and this is the virtual masterclass. And what we're going to be dealing with tonight, what we'll be going into, we're going to be looking into how to build web and mobile applications using Gemini and Google AI Studio. And this class promises to be practical, so 100% practical. The purpose of this slide is just to walk us through what exactly is the purpose of the slide is just to explain a little bit, just to give us more like groundwork to lay the foundation as we move into the practical aspects where we're going to actually design. Either we are building a website, you're building an app, right? So that is the purpose. And the one goal in this class is to move participants from just consuming AI to actually to now using it. So that's what we're trying to do with this masterclass. We want to move people from just having to chat with, a lot of people, they just speak with ChatGPT. Let me see, I'm trying to bring my video up. So that's what a lot of people actually do. They just speak with it, or just a chat, ask questions, and all of that. But then it's actually beyond AI technologies has moved beyond just chatting. It has moved beyond just discussing, asking ChatGPT, LLMs. They call them LLMs, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is Gemini or Claude. Those are the top three leading models. LLMs means large language models, meaning AI tools that you could just speak with, you could chat with, ask questions, give it an input, and then you get an output from it, right? So the promise in this class is to take people from just chatting to now actually building, because where we are with artificial intelligence tools, we have moved from just chatting with LLM tools to now literally building with AI tools. Now, way back, 2-3 years back, 2-3 years past, back then AI tools was just basically chatting. You just chat with an LLM, that's it. But right now, we've moved into the aspect where you can literally use artificial intelligence tools to build mobile apps, to build web apps, anything you can think of building, anything that you as a human being could do, and since it's something that has to do with computer, so anything you could do that has to do with computer, you could literally assign that task to an AI tool. Mostly it could be an AI agent, right? So what we're going to be dealing with is we're looking at Google ecosystem, the tools available from Google, which you could use to build product, whether it is a digital product to start a business. So that's what we're looking at. So the end goal of this class is, at the end of this class, you know how to combine both Gemini, which is a large language model, just like the way we have ChatGPT, and then Google AI Studio, which is Google's platform where you could build website, build mobile apps. You could just, maybe you have an idea for something, so you could just do a prototype quickly, just by chatting as well. So it's not, you don't really need any technical background, like, oh, you need to understand how to code or how to do this thing. You don't need to understand how to code to be able to use Google AI Studio. It's just like you're just talking in English, and then the agent, right, the tool helps you build out the product, whatever thing you have in mind that you want to build. You just have to build it out. Yours is just to speak in English, and then it's built out what you want. And if the output is not matching what you want, you could still you could keep on iterating. And then these tools, they are both available for free, although there's a limit on usage since it is a free tool. They have a paid one since it is a free tool. So anyone that has a Google account, you already have access to these tools, Gemini, Google AI Studio, in as much you have a Gmail address. So you already have, because it's all connected, right? So that's the thing. The key thing is we want to move people from having an idea to now having a working prototype, what we call minimum MVP, minimum viable product. So let's continue with the slide. Okay, so what you should leave with at the end of this class, this session is not about memorizing tools. So you don't need to like start memorizing, oh, I need to know a lot of these. No, it is about learning a repeatable way to turn an idea into something that is something that is usable, right? So number one, what you should leave with a clear app idea. So you have an idea of what you want to build. That's the one thing. And the second thing, a plan. We now create a plan on how to build it. So we'll create the plan. Once we create a project plan, the project plan is just like a master plan, just like if you want to build a house. There's going to be a master plan. There's going to be architectural drawings and every other thing you need to build the house. And then lastly, we would now build the product to just have a working prototype. So that's what we're looking at in this class, an idea, the project plan. So we're going to use Gemini to map out what we want to build. Then we use Google AI Studio to build it. So I'm going to walk us through it. We'll go into the practical class very soon. So the flow of this class is plan, build, test, and then you improve. So we plan with Gemini, we build with Google AI Studio, we test it, and from then on, you start improving on what you've built. And so two things. Let me quickly talk about Gemini. So as I said, Gemini, we're using it basically for what? To research what you're building, researching, planning, and researching, clarifying the target users. Who are the users of this product I want to build, this idea I want to build. Even before we move on, do you already have an idea of something you want to build? Just drop it in the chat if you actually have an idea. I have something we're going to build. I'll walk us through it. I don't want to say it. Maybe when we get into the practical aspect, I'm going to show us what I want to build. But if you already have an idea of something that, yeah, I want to build after this class, just drop it in the chat. So with Gemini, we're going to research the problem, clarify the target, shape the feature list, the things we want to be in that product, the features of that product, and then we prepare a build brief, or what we call a project plan, or a summary of the project, or a master document of that product. So that is what we are looking at, right? Okay, you want to build a free website like a normal website and a phone app. All right, so if you're looking at building a website, you need to know, okay, this website, what's the website for, and all of that. And then Google AI Studio, we use it to what? We use it to turn our plan, what we plan from Gemini, right? What we prototype, what we plan from Gemini, we use Google AI Studio to turn it into a prototype, into a product. So that's the essence, Gemini and Google AI Studio. All right, so Gemini. Gemini is more like your project strategist, right? Or we can call it your project manager, more like a project strategist. So Gemini is Google's AI assistant in this workflow. As I said, we use it for research, for planning, for brainstorming, and project preparation. So by the time you see it, I'm going to use it. Although now I don't actually prompt this way. This is an example of a prompt we can see on the screen, but I will show you guys the way I use Gemini, the way I prompt, right? So what we're going to be doing with Gemini is we're going to just describe the idea to Gemini. We describe the idea. It's going to maybe probably ask us a couple of questions depending on the way we interact with it. Okay, this is what I'm trying to build with Google AI Studio. This is the idea. There's a problem the idea is solving. So help me map out. I just want to have an MVP. So MVP just means something, just a prototype, something usable, right? You don't want to like start like, oh, I want to build something that is robust, because Google AI Studio, there's a limit on the free plan. So we just want to build something that will enable us to like work with a free plan to have to just have something tangible, right? So we use Gemini to like map out who is this app for, the problem it solves, the smallest useful version, which is the same thing as the MVP, and then which screens and features are essential and what should we build first. And when we go into the practical aspect, I'll talk about prompting. But this is just a sample of a prompt. You're just telling Gemini to act as a product strategist. Help me plan a simple learning platform for people who want practical digital skills. Define the user target, the target user's core problem, must have features, key screens, and a realistic first version we can prototype. But then this will be practical. We'll go into that. And then Google AI Studio, we just describe what, once we map out the plan in Gemini, we take that document, we bring it to Google AI Studio, and we just talk to it. The way I'm talking to you guys now, that's how you could just talk to Google AI Studio. You could talk by typing, you could type, or you could chat, you could type, or you could just talk. I prefer talking. I just use the mic and the microphone feature, and then I just talk, give it like a full context of what I want to build, and then I just allow it to what I just allow it to start building that thing. Now, Google AI Studio, it is it's not an app. Let's say it's an app. It's just Google's platform whereby you could build, you could quickly prototype anything that you want to build. So you use it to build apps or websites or anything. We'll get into it. I'll show you a lot of things you could do with Google AI Studio. So it is owned by Google, right? It's just a platform that you could just prototype, build. Maybe you want to build something as fast as possible, right? And then, so what we're doing is we're going to just give it what we've mapped out from Gemini, and then we'll just generate just to have something. By the time we have the first product, the minimum viable product, we test it, and then we refine as times goes on. So a simple work, this is a simple workflow you could, when you want to build, so this just follow this workflow. You get an idea, one clear problem that idea solves, then you do a research, use Gemini to do the research. Just tell Gemini what you want, the idea, the problem you think it solves. It's just help you map out a better thing. Then you have a brief of the project, or what we could call a master plan. Then you build the first prototype, the first version, right? The next thing is you test it with real users. And from there, you could now start improving, refinement, iterating on what you build. So the first thing when you're building, don't try to build the whole features all at once. If you're building a website, don't try to build the entire pages all at once. You start with one. You start from one step once you start with this first phase, and you could start with the home page. So once you are pleased, you're satisfied with the output, then you can move to other pages. Even if at the same time you're building an app, if it is a software, you start with one feature after the other. You don't try to build the entire thing at a go or at a stretch, right? You need a laptop to get this done. So let's go to the next slide. So what we are building together, so we're going to be building an EdTech platform. So that's what we're looking at building in this class. And don't worry, by the time I don't know we'll stop where Google AI Studio limits stop, but then I'll try as much as possible to build something that is like something tangible. Yeah. So I just want to show you what you could do with a free account. So don't be limited with, okay, I can't, their subscription is about, I think maybe 28 or 29,000 per month, right? So I use Codex when I need to build. I use Codex. Codex is owned by ChatGPT. So once I have a premium account with ChatGPT, so then it is automatically, it's on my Codex account. The same thing with Google. Google, they have different subscription. Like their free account, you have 15 gig. The next account, they give you up to like maybe 100 gig on your email or Google Drive. So each of those subscription comes with other features like AI and all of that. There's the one of 9,900. I think that one give you about maybe 200 gig and then a little credit. But then the one that you would enjoy a little bit is one of the subscription is about maybe 29 or 20 something thousand. So you get up to like maybe 5 terabytes or something, and then more higher limit to use their different AI tools. So Google has a lot of AI tools, Gemini, Google AI Studio. There's anti-gravity. So anti-gravity is a agentic platform. We're not going into that, right? This one, you're just assigning, you're giving a task to an agent. They just build it out. You could just tell an agent, okay, I want to build this website. You give it every information. The agent will build everything you need. But we won't go into that. So what we are planning, looking at building is, we're looking at building a website, an ed tech platform. So that's what we're looking at building. So let's go into so right now we'll go into so that's the last slide. So right now we're going to the practical aspect. So you see the way I use Gemini to plan, and then how I use Google AI Studio to build what I want to build. So I'm just going to share that other screen, and then we'll get into that. So let me get, where is it? Okay, I think I have it here. Just let me know if you can see. So can you see my screen? I'm sharing. So the current screen that's appearing right now, it's I think it should be the Google. Okay. So let me know. Can you see my Gemini screen? I'm sharing a screen, my Gemini screen. What can I help you with? So just let me know if you can see. Just drop something in the chat. Drop number 1. If you can see my current screen. Okay. So the screen I'm sharing is Gemini. So this is Gemini's platform. So you can see this is actually a free account. So this not really a free account. I'm using the subscription I use is the one they give me about 200 gig monthly for my Google Drive, Gmail, and all of that. So you could see they are telling me prompting me to upgrade, but then I'm not upgrading. So what I'm trying to build is also like a website, right? It is an ed tech platform, like a learning platform, an education platform with a little bit of technology in it. So let me explain 1 or 2 things. Okay, I'm just going to turn off this video. Let me turn off the video, and then we take this down. Okay. So I'm just going to explain a little things. The reason why now, normally there's supposed to be something showing here, but then I don't want to show the history of some of the things I'm working on. Right. Now, first thing first, so this is the platform. This place where we have Flash. So they have different models, There's advanced 3.1 Pro, there's 3.5 Flash, there is 3.1 latest. Now, I will just explain. These models, the more advanced it is, the more tokens. Tokens is more like your credit. Just like the way you have airtime when you're making calls. Just like when you're making calls. You're trying to call an international number, you consume more what? More credit, right? So let's just compare it to your tokens as well. You're trying to use an advanced model, you consume more credit when you're trying to use an advanced model. So if you're using an advanced model, it consumes more credit compared to when you're using, maybe you're using, don't worry, I just want to be seeing my face, that's why I turn it back on. If you're using what's it called? A lesser model. So I think the one I picked here is Flash. So it's able to do it. This one, 3.1 advanced math, if you want to do coding, but I don't use Gemini to code. right? I don't use it to generate code. If I'm working, I use it to just plan. Now that they have an agentic platform, which is anti-gravity. So if I need to build something, I could use this for planning, then I use anti-gravity for building. But then I use ChatGPT. So when I'm building, I use ChatGPT to iterate, to map out the plan. Then I use Codex to build, right? So I could just pick, let me keep it at 3.5 flash. So you could do, now, what can you use Gemini for? You could use it to what? You can chat with it. You could generate images, videos. I have a couple of images, right? There are a couple of images I've generated with it. So you could generate images, you could create videos. If I click on this plus sign, you could see it's asking what I want to do. If I want to create a music, you could create music. I've created music with it before. You could create an image, more tools. You could do deep research. Guided learning, I've not used this one. Canvases, I've not really used this one. And then notebooks, I've used notebooks. Notebook is more like, how will I explain notebook? Maybe with notebook, let's say I have a book I want to read, maybe a long PDF. Maybe I want to prepare for an exam. I could just give it my course outline, the course handbook, or whatever. That's on notebook. Then I could just start asking it questions to give me answers directly from the book. There's a lot of things you could do with notebook. We're not going into that. So let's head into the practical aspects. Gemini, how do you build with Gemini? So I've said a lot of things what you could do with Gemini. You could ask it question to answer. Maybe let's see if it knows let's say what is today's date. But that's not why we are here. So just to show you, you can see today's date is Saturday, 11 July. Today's date is Saturday, July 11. So you got it correctly, but this is not the reason. This is not why we are here. So we are not here to start asking it question about date. We want to use it to build something, we plan, and then we just go ahead to build. Okay, so I said what I want to build is an EdTech platform. Now, there's something about when I'm planning to build something, whether it is a website or app, there's one thing you need to think about, the users. So you're not building it as if you're the one to, unless you're building it for something for your own personal use. If I'm building something I want other users, other people to use for the public, things I want the public to use. When I'm planning what I want to build, there's something you need to understand. Most AI tools, if you don't give it specific information, it's going to just assume. If you don't ground it in more knowledge about what you want. So now what I'm talking about is almost the same thing like prompting now. So what I'm talking about now is prompting. Prompting is just like the instruction you give to an LLM or to an agent. Just like for example, if I tell someone to buy me a bread, I just tell you, buy me a bread of 1,000 naira. So you could just go ahead and buy me any kind of bread. You could buy me a banana bread. You could buy me sliced bread. You could buy agege bread. You could buy coconut bread, sardine bread, because I didn't really specify. I didn't tell you, or you could just buy it from anywhere. I just said, buy me a bread. But then by the time I go on to tell you, buy me sliced bread from God is Good supermarkets. So you already know that, okay, the place where I am sent is God is Good supermarket, and I'm sent to buy sliced bread. So what am I supposed to return with? Sliced bread from God is Good supermarket. Now let's assume I went on to say, okay, just in case you got to God is Good supermarket and they don't have sliced bread, buy me banana bread. So I'm giving you more information. If this is not available, you can get me this. And then I go on to say, okay, just in case, if God is Good supermarket don't have both sliced bread and banana bread, go to Glory Be to God supermarket and check and buy me the bread. Just in case, if the first supermarket doesn't have, you go to the other supermarket to buy it, right? So I've given you more information. That way, you know that, okay, you know the kind of bread you want to buy. you know where to buy it, and you also know that if they don't have it in the first supermarket, there's another option where you could check. So that is instruction. You're giving the person you sent an errand more instruction. So they have more instruction to ensure that they return with what you want, which is sliced bread from either God is good or Glory be to God supermarket. So it is the same thing with LLMs. When you're chatting with it, the more information you give with it, the more quality of the kind of output you will get. If you just give it something random, it will return with random generic something. There's a new website I'm building. Let me call it a website. Actually, it is a product. But then if I show that product to people, it will be difficult to quickly tell if it was AI. Because I'm not using any, I'm really grounding it in the brand, right? So I'm just going to start with it. So I'm just going to tell it what I want. Now, as I said, you could type, or you could use this. You could see there's a microphone feature where you just describe what you want. In fact, if you want to build something, you just have an idea. You don't know how to go about it. You could tell it, okay, this is something that I want to build. I don't know how to go about this thing. Could you ask me questions? Like, okay, just ask me questions. It could ask you questions. So you don't necessarily need to know everything. It is your thinking partner. So use it as a thinking partner, someone you could share ideas with, and then it helps you flesh it out. Give you even things that you never thought about that idea. It will give you those things. Right. Okay, let's go. So I'm just going to tell it. Let me see if I can use this audio version. Okay, so I have an idea to build an EdTech platform. I'm currently, I'm going to tell you about myself. So I'm a digital marketer, but I've been playing a lot recently with AI to building with using different agentic AI tools. And right now, during the course of the week, I got an idea to just build an EdTech platform, right? I'm thinking maybe the name for the EdTech platform would be Upsurge HQ. I'm going to spell Upsurge. Upsurge is spelled UPSURGE, then HQ, like more like headquarters, but then in the abbreviated form, HQ. And the purpose of this EdTech platform that I want to build is it will be a learning platform, and I'm going to explain the users. So maybe later on we could iterate on it. But the primary users I'm looking at targeting with the EdTech platform are business owners with non-technical skills who want to learn how they could integrate AI tools into their businesses, into their workflows, right? So that's the primary goal. That's the primary aim I want to achieve with the EdTech platform. As someone who is also a non-technical person, but then I've gone on to build different products. I've built a real estate management investment app. I've built what's it called? A conference website. I'm currently building a tech startup. What else? I've built a financial product and many other things, many other products like that. So I've started using many agentic tools and started integrating it into businesses, automating businesses with N8N, Zapier, and Make. And I'm looking at now transferring this knowledge to businesses, to business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals, career professionals, students who don't have these skill sets, but they really want to take advantage of the current wave of artificial intelligence tools in their respective areas of work. So that's what I'm looking at building with. That's the goal I'm trying to achieve with the EdTech. So I want us to iterate together and then plan it out so I could just go ahead to build. Now, don't generate any code. iterate, and then we'll go ahead to build. So that's it. So you could see that I've given it enough answer. So most times I might just have to like, okay, read through what, so read through it to correct one or two things. Ed tech is spelled, these are the spell ed tech. Just correct. So I'm just going to correct one or two things. That's what I'm looking at, building, not beauty. So once you use the voice note, you just correct the grammatical errors that will be there, read through it, correct the errors and all of that. I'm just going to send it to it. Now, since what we are building is more like a website, right? Another thing I like doing, when I'm building a website, something for users, if you don't really tell AI the brand, about the brand, if you don't ground it, giving it more knowledge about the brand, it's going to build something generic. It's going to give you generic design when you're doing anything that has to do with design with AI tools. If you don't choose, so I like choosing the brand color myself. I don't just tell it to choose any color. I would try to compare colors, choose the colors myself. So we're going to do that here. I pick the font, which is called typography. So the design flow, I create the design flow with AI myself before building, right? So let's see what it does. Let's see what it returns. Building an edtech platform, targeting non-technical professionals, business owners, and thus. Since you've already built these, you are the perfect case study. So let's keep all of that and architect. Okay, so to make this high impact for non-technical folks, the platform shouldn't just host videos. It needs to be an active build ecosystem, the playbook academy, the curriculum. Okay. All right. The component libraries, the vibe coding sandbox, like the community. Okay. A place where non-technical builders share their prompts, agents, configurations, troubleshoot deployment errors together. Okay. So the lean architecture, when you said the lean architecture, like, okay, this is what you should focus on building. So front end and LMS, which is the learning management platform, the workflow engine to handle backend automation. All right. This one is something different. Anything is a tool for building automated workflows. Like for example, maybe someone register for this class and immediately they get an email or something. It's something different. Then database and storage, AI integrated layer. Okay. So phase by phase. Phase one, the minimum viable products, validate demand and test the learning deliverables. So set up a clean single page landing page for Search HQ with a clear value proposition, build AI agents, and automated workflows for your business, zero coding required. Okay. All right. So systemization is just giving us like step-by-step plan on how to go about what we want to build. So I might not just read everything out. Phase two is systemizations and platform build. So when I talk, initially I said something about planning and research. So that's what we're doing. We are planning what we want to build. So then we talk about the scale and flywheel effect. Okay. And how does this structural layout look out for of Search HQ? Now, I have a couple of things written in my diary. Just a couple of things that it just needs to prepare. A couple of things it needs to prepare. And I'm just going to read them out. Okay, let me see what question we have here. It can't build, but it can generate the code. So it can generate code, which you then take and build it yourself. I don't want it to generate code. So I mean, if I tell you to like, okay, I want you to generate from these features you've highlighted, generate the code, it's going to generate the code. Then we can now push the code to, we can import that code into Google AI Studio. And then we'll see the UI. We'll see the interface of that product. It's just like the last thing I built, I think it was was it this week or last week? I think it was last week. I was building a landing page for something for an event. So I just generated the code with Claude, and then I just imported it into Google AI Studio. And then I was just doing iteration, doing editing in some areas and all of that. So when I'm building this one, I just started using this one I'm sharing with you guys. Because as I said, I'm not a technical person, right? But then that's not a limit. It's not a limitation. Whenever I tell people the things I've built, they're always surprised, right? So most times, so I saw a guy's video on YouTube, was it on Instagram or TikTok? And he mentioned that, okay, these are the things you need to prepare. Whenever you want to build something, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, PRD. I think PRD is, I think the product requirement description or something. Then the tech stack, the MVP, like the first version you want to build, the user flow. Okay, when someone comes to your app or to your website, what's the flow? What's the first thing? What's the second thing? So what's the usage flow or the workflow? Then the UI and the design plan. So what we're going to right now will be the design plan and then the development plan. So the design plan, the reason why I like picking things myself, if I tell you to write maybe the projects, the summary of what we want to build, I want to give it to Google AI Studio to build. It's going to give us, okay, let me ask it. Okay, so let me just tell you like, okay, the first, I want the first version of the EdTech platform for Upsurge HQ to be minimal. So create let me just say a short summary of what I can share with Google AI Studio to build it. So let's just see, probably when it's going to, by the time it gets to the aspect of this is the color, this is the typography, it will give us something like something generic. Let's just see what it came with. You're an expert, full stack developer, master of modern dash 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 dash. Course scope, design. So let's check the design guideline. Okay, so you could see clean, minimal, professional, optimized for mobile and desktop viewing, focus on scannability and speed. Do not add complex user progress or payment, all of that. Now, if I take this information, if I take all this information and I give it to Google AI Studio, what it's going to build for us will be something like the website most likely will have a dark background. Most likely, it will use generic colors, AI colors, and all of that. But what I like doing, let me see. So what I like doing is I first give it an idea about the brand color. So what I use for picking brand color, I use this website to generate my brand color. So the name of the website is called, I think, Kulos. Let me see. Yeah, Kulos. That's the name. So that the reason why I do that is I don't want, I hope you guys can see the new screen. So I don't want it to be giving generic, like something that looks like, most time it look like, if you look at the website, people build websites with AI. Most time it's going to be a dark background. There's going to be a gold color. There's going to be something like amber, like something like orange, something like that, something like orange. So if you don't pick the color you want yourself, it's just going to pick a generic color. The same thing with fonts. It will pick a generic font, mostly Inter. So those two things, the color and the font, I pick them myself. So let's see. I just want to pick a color and then the font. So I just tell it now just from what it has given us. So once I give it these two information, this is the color, this is the font I want, then we'll just go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start building with Google AI Studio. So let's just wait, it's coming up. Okay. Oh, I was looking at the other cursor, mouse cursor at the top. Okay, so what I want to do right here is just to look at different colors I could just combine. So most times I like going with 2, 3 colors. So I'm going to remove this one. So let's say I want to use, let's say the very first color I want to pick. Once I see something I like, I'll pick one color. Nevajo white. Okay, I like this one. So this thing is just going to help me generate colors that rhymes with this other color I just picked. Most time when you're picking color, you need a sharp and a dark one, right? So you need a sharp and a dark color. So let me see. The other one is coffee bean. There was one I saw before, but I should have picked that one. Persian blue. Okay, let's see. There was one red it came with. I liked. Let's see if it's going to bring that red again. Oh. Okay. So I'll just go with these 3 colors. I'm going to copy it. So I'll just copy the colors, give it to it. Paste that one there. Pick the other one. Now, even with picking these colors, you still need to tell it which one you prefer as your background. Because if you don't tell it, most times it just likes using a dark background. So let me just put it there, background. I think that's the second one. Okay. And then this one would be, this should be accents. And this will be for text. All right, so let's go. All right, so I just picked 3 different brand colors and I've listed the usage. I don't want a dark background in this ed tech we're trying to build, right? So right now, what I want you to help me do, we already have an idea of the users. So I want you to create just a project summary. So create a project summary, the typography I want in this ed tech platform you're trying to build. Use Bell MT for the font. and you use what's this other one? Then you use Satoshi for numbers. So bell empty for the font. You use Bodoni for numberings, right? So let's see, I'll just correct it. Once it just give us that project, what's it called? The project summary. So once it gives us that project summary, we'll just go ahead and I'll take the documents and we'll just go straight into what's it called? We'll go straight into Google AI Studio, because the more we are using this as well, it's also the same credit we want to use to build at Google AI Studio that it is also consumed, because it is the same account. So I don't want to do a lot of things right here that will limit what we want to build right there with Google AI Studio. I didn't mean this was ChatGPT. Aha, I have enough token right there. Okay, so brand identity and system, we have it settled. The reason is, wait a minute, font, okay, Satoshi for headline, bell empty for numbers. Although I said you should use bell empty as, maybe I can change it myself. Okay. So it has written, so with this basic information it has given us. So let's just take these basic things that given. We don't want, we're just trying to be just something simple, just to show you what you could build with AI tools. So let's see what it has given. It has given us. I'm just going to copy everything. I'll just copy it right here. I'll copy it right here. And I'll come to Google AI Studio. So this is Google AI Studio. So right here in Google AI Studio, so let me just see, maybe I can just explain one or two things before we start building. You can see that it's almost like the same thing with Gemini. But just like this one is just the platform where you can now build, where you can build things. So it's almost like the same thing. You can even chat with this one as well. But then don't use it for chatting. Use it for what? You could see what? Build your ideas with Gemini. So right here, Gemini is just for talking, you plan. But right here, the same model, but this platform, this interface, Google AI Studio, is for building. So the models are configured to build things right here. While in Gemini, their own interface, still owned by Google. Google owned the tool. So theirs is to what? Prototype, to plan, research. You plan, you research, you work on a project. Then when you want to build, you can build with Gemini, you can build with anti-gravity, Codex, Cloud Code, Cursor, and different agents, different agentic development tools like that. So let me see if I'm going to explain one or two. So this is Google AI Studio. If you have a Gmail account, you already have all these things, a Gmail account. So just go to your browser, Chrome browser, type Google AI Studio, and then you just see that you already have an account with them. So let me see if I can explain one or two things right here, the interface. So this is Gemini. This is Google Anti-Gravity. So Anti-Gravity is is the agentic platform, as I said. So Anti-Gravity is the agentic platform. Let me close this. I think I'm done with this one. So let's close that one. Like there are a lot of, wait a minute. Okay, I hope I don't, okay, I think I closed the right thing. Like there are a lot of stuff on this system that is slowing it down, like the kind of different tools that is on this platform right now. Okay, let me save this one and I just close it. Okay, so that one doesn't disturb us, it doesn't affect us. All right, okay, let's move forward. So I was talking about Gemini and Google Anti-Gravity. So Google Anti-Gravity is the agentic platform whereby you can assign a task to an agent that will just do the task. Just like what we want to build right here with Gemini, we could use Google Anti-Gravity. So with Google Anti-Gravity, I could go ahead and create the top to bottom project. There were 6 things that I listed earlier on. I talked about the product requirements, the tech stack. The tech stack is just more like the tools. The tools you want the agents. That one is for agents. The tools you want the agents. Like the current project that I'm building right now, I'm still working on. I already built the MVP, right? So I actually started with the product requirements. I've forgotten what this stands for. The tech stack, I actually choose the tech stack, the MVP, the basic things I want first in the very first version. I picked it myself. The design flow, I planned it. I used ChatGPT for that. So I planned it out, and the development plan as well. I planned everything out. I just took everything, and then the respective agent that I needed that was going to work on that project. So I just gave each of them access to these 6 files so they understand what the project is about, the different tools they need to use for this project. And of all the things that I've built and designed, this design is actually the best, especially with the fact that I actually even also picked the colors myself, selected the colors. Maybe let's see if I can, maybe during the course of the class, I'll get the link and see if I can show us that particular. I'm still working on it. If I can show us that project. So Google AI Studio. Okay, what can I talk about right here? So this is the interface where you just describe what you want. So the same thing as I just I showed us with Gemini. So it is using Gemini models, but this time around it is for building. So it is using Gemini models, but this time around it is to what? To build. So let's get that one correct. The same models we have in Gemini. I showed us 3.1, 3.5. I showed us another one for the one they wrote mathematics, maths, and code, right? So it is still the same models we have right here. But the difference between Google AI Studio and Gemini is that with Google AI Studio, you could now use it to build apps, whether it is a web app you want to build, whether it is a mobile app you want to build, anything you want to build, you can use Google AI Studio. But Gemini, you can't really use Gemini to build it. You can use Gemini to generate the code, but I don't use it that way. So instead of generating the code with Gemini, why not use Gemini to plan the project, then bring the project right here in Google AI Studio to quickly build an MVP. But most times I use agentic development tools, Codex, Cloud Code, or Anti-Gravity. Okay, so I think what I copied from Gemini, let's see if I still have it. All right. So I still have what I copied from Gemini. So let's see, here is the structured. I'm going to remove, we don't need all these ones. Let's see. Oh, I don't think we don't need all this. So I'm going to clean all of this. So the project summary, Upsurge HQ is a high-performance minimal edtech platform designed for non-technical business owners, professionals, and students. The platform delivers actionable build-along micro courses that teach users how to integrate agentic AI and automation tools into their workflows without needing to code. And this is the brand identity which we all picked. Okay, a warm soft beige, text and primary context, a deep navy blue, and this one for accent, right? So the typography, I don't want, no. So I choose Bell empty, let me change it. Bell. Unless Bell empty will not be good. And then, so the reason why I like choosing my typography myself is because the reason I like choosing both typography and colors myself is because I don't want it to just build something random, give us random colors, random fonts, so that it will be different. So let me give it, after I choose Bodoni, I don't know, I think it should, Google would have it. It is a Google font, Bodoni. So let's see. So the core thing is going, the core feature, since this is MVP, minimum viable product, just the first version. So something lightweight where somebody can sign in, course and matrix dashboard, the interactive lesson player, instant blueprint downloader, and okay. No, I think we are using, okay, strict mapping of utility variables and custom fonts, assigning LMT. No, Bodoni is for, I think Bodoni is for numbers. And then CSS or utility framework like Tailwind. Okay. Now, adding bin, this is good. So once it's built the first version, so right here as well, you could literally connect these two across your Google products, your Gmail, Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google Calendar, other things. So there's literally nothing you can't build. You can build a radio station, like an online radio station. You can build an online radio station. Anything you can think of, you can build. Yours is just play with it. Yeah, just play with it. I wasn't this good with all this stuff, but then I just started, wait a minute, okay, there's backend. No, there's no backend though. So we're just building the front end. So I'm just going to send it, and then it's just going to start building. So while it is building, I'm going to be explaining some certain things. So there's, you could build a booking system, maybe where people could book, whether book hotel, book a ride, book services, like maybe there's something, or you could build, I remember at the AI Builders Weekend, the physical event, the first participant built a website for his shoe business. The second person built a WhatsApp order platform whereby he owns a pharmacy with his wife. So whereby their customers could order for maybe anything from their pharmacy. Maybe they need to speak to somebody in the pharmacy, they could chat with them, and the bot would attend to them, take orders, collect payments, and everything. And the third person built an automation platform using N8N to automate content creation and content publishing on LinkedIn. And to use N8N, she didn't even really know anything about N8N. So I just showed her how to use AI agent to literally build the entire workflow. And that's what she did. So I just told her, this is what you do. We used ChatGPT and anti-gravity. So all ChatGPT did was we used it to, just the way we use Gemini now. So ChatGPT was to plan out what we were building, and anti-gravity was to now build it out. Just as we use Gemini to plan what we are building, and then we are using Google AI to build out the platform. So it's actually running right now. Yeah, so it's running right now. Let's see. I think let's wait for this thing to come up. It's going to show something. So one thing about all this platform, once it is working, they show you what they are working on. Like, oh, this is what I'm doing right now. And by the time it is done with this first build, with these 4 stars, the things it did going to show us that thing. Like, it's going to show us, okay, this is what I did to build this. Let me remove this one so we can see what it's working on. Okay, let's wait for, so let me remove that. I think this one is okay. Internet. Okay, this is Nigeria. They just show me there's something on my screen. The internet is unstable. Airtel and MTN has been showing me like what Nigerians call shege. So I've been switching between both Airtel and MTN. So it's supposed to show us something for me to select. But because I can't, it's not bringing it up. So I'm just going to pick, I don't know what it's showing me, but then I'm just going to pick select this design. So you can move on to the next thing. Okay, so I was trying to explain something. So by the time we finish building, if you see my screen, you could see what we have, remix, share. So you can share the app once it is done building. You can as well publish it to the internet. Whereby you start what? You start using it. So you could publish it to the internet and then you start using it. Let's not go to Firebase. Firebase. I don't want it to like do a lot of stuff. Okay, it's telling me that it needs to set up Firebase. So Firebase is more like it is a backend service. So let me explain it a little bit. So Firebase is for storing users' data. It's for storing what? Data. What we call database. So it is called database. It's just like a place where you store users, their data. So Firebase is owned by Google. We have Firebase, we have Superbase, we have, I think, Postgres. There are a lot. But let's just keep everything within Google ecosystem. So I already have an account, a Firebase account. So I'll just click enable. So the reason why it is requesting for that is because, let me read it out. It said, I need to set up Firebase for your authentication and cost progress storage. I have shown the Firebase setup UI. Please select the terms so we can. So the reason is because we are requesting for email and password. So it needs a place to be storing people's name, their email, and their password. So one thing about this is, as it is building, it's going to be giving you, explaining what it is doing. So if I click action history, it should show me the history of the action it took. So you could see it thought for 7 seconds, means it was thinking for 7 seconds. And then it was reading this meta JSON. I don't know what it means, but this particular one, skills system, Firebase skill, I know what that one means. So skills file, they are files whereby an agent would read to know what it needs to do. It's just like when I was explaining something about prompts the other time. Just like the instruction you give to it. So that's skills. When we talk about something like skills.md file, it's more like an instruction you are giving to an agent. You want to perform these tasks. You are acting as this person. These are the specific things you need to act like this to get this project done. So that's what we call skills.md file. Just a file that contains an instruction for an agent or an LLM in simple English. So this Firebase skill is just like the information, this, it's not an agent, this particular LLM, this Google AI Studio that is doing these tasks of helping us to build a website. So it needs a skill to know, okay, how do I act like a software engineer? Because Firebase has to do with database backend. So that is the duty. That's the responsibility of a backend engineer. So this Firebase does skill.md. It contains instruction for backend engineers. You have to act like a backend engineer, right? And then being we have something like UI UX, it means it's going to act as if it is a UI UX designer. If it was front end, it means you are telling it to act as if you are a front end designer. So it means this skill.md file has information for which you can use to act as if you are a front-end engineer. So that's what skills. So if you see anything like skill.md file, just like instruction on how they want a particular agent or LLM to behave, Like, okay, you want to take this, you want to do this task. Act as if you are this. These are the instructions you need to accomplish that task. So let's see what it is doing right now. So currently, so let me explain what it has done. The Firebase blueprint, it has done that one. The Firestore rules, it has done. The Firestore rules is just like the way users' information is going to be stored, right? The XRC index and CSS, I think that one is styling. It has to do with front end. So styling, these are all technical content. I don't really pay much attention to it. Mine is just to wait for the output. So it's still designing. So mine is to the output. So if the output is not like it does, if it doesn't give me what I want, so I could now start talking to it in plain English, then you could now start writing code. So what is doing all this while is just writing code, writing code. But then I don't understand, I can't interpret a code, but I can I can see the output of anything it's returned and tell it, no, you made a mistake here, correct this part. You made a mistake here, correct this part. So XRC, I don't really know this part. Firebase, this one has to do with backend, but this SRC has to do with front end design. I know that one is for front end. Context, or I think this one too would have to do with front end. So these are different code it is building all these different SRC as well. This has to do with front end. This one front end, the dashboard front end, the login. So let's see. I think it has set up the Firebase as well. Okay. So let's see. It said I have completed the initial MVP of the Upsurge HQ platform. Visual identity. It has done the visual identity, implemented a precise brand aesthetic. Okay. The typography, with authentication, the course matrix, the interactive lesson player, the blueprint downloader. It has applied the bento grid design. So it's still just building out what it wants. So if you have questions, you can be dropping it in the chat. So that while it is still building, I could also be answering. So maybe I should just, I think there are some questions you dropped earlier on. So while it is building, I could be taking previous questions. Okay, so to use a phone to build, that would be very, very difficult because I'm not sure if you could access Google AI Studio from your phone. Now, it now depends on the kind of phone though. There's this other tool owned by Google. Let me see if I can remember the name. So that one you could actually, I had it on my phone, but I had to, let me see if I still have it. Because it was consuming, you can use it to build right there from the phone. It is a tool that you use to build, to code without internet, without connecting to internet. Oh God, I've forgotten the name. Let me see. I installed it on my phone before, but then the application, because of the file size, okay, Gemma 4. It is called Gemma 4. So Gemma is spelled Gemma. So I think I still have it on the phone, but I don't use it. So with Gemma 4, you could actually run LLM models from your phone. You could build things right there from the phone. Just like the way we are chatting with this stuff right here. You could, with Gemma 4, just maybe you could try to download it, install it on your phone and see if you can run it on your phone. But then it consumes so much the storage. So it's just like you are just trying to install what you could use to be building on laptop on phone. So you could check it out. So with it, you can build websites, you can build a mobile app, you can build a web app. So Another tool, I think, we have different vibe coding tools. So what we are doing is vibe coding. So it is called vibe coding. We are just telling it what we want. We are giving it vibes. If it doesn't return it the way we want, we tell it again, no, no, I don't want it this way. Change this one, touch this one. This one is not what I want, and all those things. So we are just vibing. That's what they call vibe. That's what it is called vibe coding. So that's why they call it vibe coding. So there's Replit. We have Replit. There's base 44, but I don't know if you can use it from your phone. I've used Replit. Replit is spelled maybe I'll show you later on. Replit, but then I don't use it on. The only thing that I use on my phone is ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Well, all these other tools to now build, like you want to build a website, I use it from my laptop. I know Canva could build a website as well. Yeah, Canva could build a website with Canva as well. Okay, so let's see. So it's still coming up. Let's just wait for what it built to come up. It has finished building it. And once it's finished doing a task, it will give you, just like when you assign a task to an employee, let's say you are the owner of your company, you give your employee a task. Once it completes that task, it's going to give you what? Feedback. So it's going to give us feedback. Oh, I've successfully applied the bento grid design theme to the Upsurge HQ platform, meticulously extracting the aesthetic from your reference HTML while preserving all existing Firebase integration and React components. So React is a front-end coding language. So React, Nest.js, they are front-end coding language. So Bento Grid architecture refactored the dashboard to utilize a responsive 12-column CSS grid. I think CSS has to do with styling, maybe styling, I think so. Prominently featuring the first micro-course as a large primary tile, while standardizing secondary courses, okay? We'll just wait for it to just, so I'm waiting for a preview. Maybe I'm going to refresh this page. So it's the preview we're waiting for to see the preview of what is built. So you can even see right here, it's showing us like, okay, what other features would you like to add? So let's assume that, okay, what is built, we're not really satisfied with one part. So we could just tell it, make changes to this part, add this part. So that's now what we call IT rating. So I'm just going to refresh, give this page a refresh and see if what is built is going to appear. And then I'm also going to show us how to publish the app, right? How to publish the app. We might not really go into the other parts like the back end and all of it, right? Because if you are building an ed tech platform like this, you need a back end where you can be storing data. Like the courses you're going to upload, they will be stored in the back end, and then the front end, we call it so it appears, right? Things you must not put in your front end, like your API keys and all of that. So let's just wait for it to appear. If it doesn't appear, I'll just go ahead to publish it and then check it, open the live browser to see what the thing just built for us. So I think the network that is acting really crazy tonight. And it's been good since morning. I've been using it since morning. That's the thing with internet. When you're doing on serious things, it's like moving blazing fast. Boom, boom, boom. But once you're doing something really serious, it starts crawling, moving like a snail. So let's wait. Maybe once this is still loading though, maybe once it stops loading. But I hope we got the whole thing I've been saying since. So did we catch anything? Did you pick something from this class? with what I've explained with Gemini and Google AI Studio. So if they give you this tool, if you're given access to these tools, Gemini and Google AI Studio, you just explain what you want to build to Gemini. The same way we did it, just follow the same process. If you follow the same process, you would have that first version of that product you want to build. So it's still loading. So if you follow that same process, it will deliver the very first version of the product, of that product which you're looking at building. So let's see. So once it stops loading, I'm just going to publish it. And once I publish it, would open the live. Okay, I think it's still loading right here, so it's still working. This place, we see this part. So something is still loading right here. So this preview will show us the front end, like the pictorial view of what we just built. But if I click on code, let me see. So this code will show us the different code. So you can see these are the different code. I could explain a few things right here. So as I said, this SRC, it has to do with the front end, this SRC. But this ENV means environment variables. So that's where you store ENV itself is where you store your secret, your API keys. And once you store it in ENV, not env.example. Env.example just means like, okay, the different keys I have here. Maybe I have, maybe we have a Firebase key. Let me click on it. Maybe there's a Gemini key. You won't put the key right here, but then you just list it. This Gemini. Then you just put a random, just like placeholder, just something random. Maybe there's also a key for ChatGPT. You won't put the exact key. You could put the name there, then just something placeholder. But then in the env file itself, which is the environment variable, that's where you store your API keys, the name of the key and the exact value. But in env.example, you don't put your exact key. So this one is a little bit like technical. It's not, and no one taught me all these aspects. The more I started building, then the more I was knowing. So really, it was ChatGPT that taught me all this stuff. Maybe there's something I was working on, and I'm like, oh, what does this part mean? I don't understand. ChatGPT will explain. Oh, don't put this thing here. Ah, if you put it here, go and reroute the keys. Reroute the keys mean go and change the keys. Go and delete the previous one, and you create a new one. So your ENV, you put it in git ignore, meaning by the time you are publishing this, maybe you want to push it to GitHub. GitHub is where you store your code. So if I'm to push this thing to GitHub, and if I add my ENV to git ignore, it means those secrets, the API keys and all of that, it won't be in the public. It won't be pushed to the public. But then that one is something a little bit technical. So let's see if there's now a preview. It's supposed to show us a preview. Okay, let me see. Let me try to publish it. Okay, it's supposed to show us a preview of what it's built before we think of publishing. But let's see. Maybe if we publish it, we get the link, we are going to see the site. So you could just pick a name. Let's just use Upsurge. Now this one is a new feature. Initially, Google would have given us a very long name. Because I remember I still built something here last. Because I remember I still built something here last week. So as at then, you notice where I put Upsurge name, Upsurge HQ. As at last week, it was not there. They would have given us a very long link. But then let's see. Maybe I could, let's see, by the time I publish this, I'll open the link in a new browser. But if it doesn't open, so that means the problem is from Google AI Studio Beauty. So it is publishing the app. The reason we are publishing is so that we could have a link. So let's see. So it's still publishing. So let's wait for that part. While it is publishing, what other things can I talk about? So I've explained EMV, things that you will hear, like once you start putting yourself into this ecosystem of building mobile apps, things you start hearing more. You hear things about GitHub. So GitHub is where you store your code. It's more like, it's just like a house where you store your code. When you build something, you push it to GitHub. You hear about things like Vercel. So I use Vercel. Like Vercel is where I host almost all my sites, almost not all. So any site or software I'm building, I'm hosting it on Vercel. Or there's Netlify. There's also Cloudflare. One of my major projects is on Cloudflare. So I host it with Cloudflare. So once you immerse yourself into this ecosystem, this AI tech ecosystem, especially in the aspect of building. So AI is not just limited to. So let me just speak about the different aspects. You could use it for creating content. You could use it for creating content. You could use it in marketing. You could use it in finance, in legal department, HR, building software. So if you choose to, like, okay, you want to be all automation. So I spoke about automation earlier on, N8N. So if you're the type that you want to be using it for building software, so things you're going to be hearing a lot about, you hear things about backend, database. So database, I use Superbase, I use Firebase. Those are the two databases that I use a lot. Or mostly, I think I have about maybe 3-4 projects with Superbase, and then most of my projects, they are with Firebase. So Firebase is owned by Google. So those are the things you hear a lot, a lot. So let me see. So it's still publishing. I think it's definitely the internet that is causing this thing to be slow. So let me see. Okay, what if I asked it to code? Can it code and build well? So Gemini cannot build. It can generate the code. So Gemini will generate the code. But instead of using Gemini to generate the code, I just create the project summary. Now, I didn't mean I was to build with agentic tools. Agentic tools are tools like Codex, Cloud Code, or Anti-Gravity. Those are the top 3 models, the frontier models. There are a lot. We have Cursor, we have MS, or is it MS? We have Grok Build, owned by X, which is formerly Twitter. So I didn't mean I was to use any agentic tool. I wouldn't just this project we just did. This one is just like an example, just to have a minimum viable product. I would have what I explained earlier on: the product requirement development, the tech stack, the MVP, the features I want in the very first version, the user flow, the UI design plan, and then the development plan. I would have created everything one after the other, create the instruction for each of the agents I want to use, because it's going to need a front-end agent who handles the design we are going to see. Now, there's going to be the back-end agent who handles to ensure that the system works from maybe the information the front-end needs to be calling from behind the system works, right? The content writer, maybe the project manager, and all of that. So I'm going to create all these documents first before taking it to that agentic platform. So I said I was going to show us one project I'm working on currently. So why this one is still publishing. So let's see. Maybe we use. So let's go to. So I'm still working on this particular project. It's a new project. So this actual project, how did I come about this project? There was a day I attended a function in a hotel. So this one is just it is a web app, but then I'm still going to turn it to a mobile app. So what this software does is, maybe you went to a restaurant, a fine dining restaurant, and they show you the menu, but then you're just seeing the text. There's no picture. You don't understand how the food will look like when they bring it. So you can just scan the menu and it just show you a picture of what you're about to, it just show you the picture of what that dish looks like. So I remember I attended a function in a hotel. So I wanted to have breakfast. So I went to one of the restaurants in a hotel. And when they gave me the menu, I was just reading through it, but I'm like, I don't understand all these things in this menu. And it's not as if what I'm having is it's an English breakfast. It's an English breakfast. I'm like, okay, what does this thing mean? Can I see a picture of it? They're like, okay, if I scan the menu, I'm going to see it. And I went ahead to scan the menu. They just showed me the price. They didn't show a picture of it. This one is this is a lobster biscuit. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right. Maybe lobster bisque, or it can be biscuit, to be bisque, right? So that's what this thing does. You just scan the name of that food and then just show you a picture. So I'm still working on it. Now you could see that this thing, hardly will someone be able to tell if this thing is built with AI. And the reason why hardly is because I didn't just like, okay, just build something. No, I picked the colors myself, the text, the typography. So this particular one, I actually took my time because now I'm not using Google AI Studio to design this. I used Codex. So I took my time with the product requirements, the tech stack, what's it called? The MVP, what I want in the first version, what I want the first version to do. And then what other things I mentioned, the UI, where I spent more work was the user flow and the UI design flow. And I actually loved this design. So this color, I picked this color myself, this 1, this 2, and 3. Using that same platform I showed us the first time, colors, to ensure that I just want to pick colors that actually complement each other. So that's what we have right here. I'm still working on the product. I'll be adding more dishes to this so that when people want to start using it. So I just could not see, like I'm picking something. So when they eventually served me the food, I was like, God, what did I order? I shall eat it because it was very expensive. I can't throw it away because they will collect money. So I just had to eat it, and then I had to order something that I know. Like I just had to order a drink because the thing was somehow bitter. So I had to order a drink. I had to order like what did I order? Well, it was not a mocktail. It was I've forgotten the name. I just ordered something sweet that would just change my taste bud. Because what I ate was so bitter. So I was just eating it and I can't change my face. Like I was just eating it. So this one is just a picture of maybe somebody wants to order this wrap of lamb. They don't know what it looks like. So once they scan it or they just type the name into this app, wrap of lamb, it just shows them the picture of the food. Or this grilled salmon with lemon butter. I know what is salmon. I know what a salmon is. It is a fish. But then with lemon butter, I'll be like, okay, which one is lemon butter again? But seeing the picture, I will know the way it looks like. I think this one is like more like a cake. It's a dessert. And cream brulee. Will I know what is cream brulee? No. But then once I see the picture, I was like, okay, this is what I'm getting and all of that. This is a Thai food, I think so. So let's see, we have okay, so I don't know why this thing is taking a lot of time because I need to see verifying the app URL because I want us to see what exactly we built. So maybe I'm going to refresh this again because the app has been built already. So it's just for it to publish and show us what it built. But from what I explained, do we know how to use this interface? Because the way to get better with all these tools is to use it. So it's not just about hearing people talk about it, because that's what most people do. They just hear people talk about it. They see video about it online, they save it, but then you don't go ahead to implement. So the most important thing is once you learn, you implement, you practice. That's the way you get better with all these AI tools. All these AI tools. So the way I got better with all these tools that I'm able to build different things. There was a particular tool I built. With that particular tool, I was able to get a fully funded scholarship to the UK. So I didn't mean my visa was granted. The visa was denied last month. I think, was it last month? Yeah, it was last month. I was supposed to be doing the training. The training starts next week. I was supposed to travel maybe last week. I didn't mean it was granted. I would have traveled last week. So the training starts next week. 3 months training. It was a tool I built with AI. I used it to apply for that training, and they gave me a full scholarship. So there are a lot of good things you could do with AI tools. So let me refresh this thing one last time. Or I might just, okay, maybe I should use another browser. Maybe it is the browser that is delaying it. I don't know. So if this last one doesn't open, I would use, I will stop sharing, then I'll switch to Edge browser, to use Edge browser to open it. Maybe it will open in Edge. So I'm using Chrome, but most times I use Edge browser whenever I'm building stuff. So is there anyone that has question? Let's take question while what we built is still trying to come up. Unless what I could do, I could open Codex. I could extract the code of what we just built. I could extract the entire code, paste it into Codex to show us a picture of it. I think it could show us. I noticed there was something around this point. It was showing us like there's an error with the code. We should fix something. So that's one thing about AI. Once we build with AI, definitely there's going to be errors. So that's why you now start iterating. So it is the process of iterating. You start correcting mistakes, 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 and mistakes. So that's the aspect about building with AI. You could build it in 5 minutes. You could build it in 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. But you could use 3 days correcting errors, or 2 days correcting errors from the mistake AI made. Like for example, now this one, it has finished building, but then what it built now is not coming up. So let's see. Okay, so what I want to do right now, I'm going to close Chrome. I'm going to open Edge browser. So I'm going to open Edge browser to see if we can get a picture of it from maybe Edge browser is going to show it. Whether it is a browser, maybe it could be a browser issue or something. You never can tell. So let me stop sharing the screen. Then I'll open it in Edge browser. So once we see it in Edge browser, that way we know that. Okay, let me even tell you that what is built is not really appearing. Before we even move, what you built is not showing in the interface. Just a blank white screen. So let me send this. So you could see, I think I mentioned something before that there's an error in the code. I said it. So there was an error. So maybe it could be we've exhausted the token or something. It could be one of it. So there's an internal error. So this is what I'm going to do right now. So just watch what I'm going to do. Because I want us to see what the thing just built. That's what I just want us to do. So I will know exactly. So I'm going to export this code. I hope you can see it. I clicked on, so this preview. Preview is where we would have seen what we built. But let me try one again. Let me see. There's an error from Google. So preview is where we would have seen what exactly we built. So this is the code. This is how the code is generated. So I'm just going to export it. So I'll click on export. I'll download a zip file. Let me save it somewhere. Okay, let me save it here. So I just saved the file. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. So what I'm going to explain. Okay, let me open Codex. I'll open Codex. So Codex is what I use majorly when I want to build. So Codex. So Codex is owned by ChatGPT. So Codex is coming up. So once Codex comes up fully, the file we just extracted the code. So let me just close it. I think we are done extracting it. But wait, let me open Codex first. So Codex is coming up. So let me wait for Codex to come up. So I'll close. We are done with this one. I'll close this one. So I can show you guys what I want to do now. Okay. All right. Codex is almost up. Let's wait a little bit. So let me open the file we just downloaded. So the very first thing I'm going to, am I supposed to show this things? Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, this is the file. So this is the file of such which we just, so I'm going to extract all the files. So let me create something else. Let me create, okay, it's going to create something by itself. So extract all. So let me select. Okay, give it up search. Oh, am I sharing this screen? Up search HQ. I'm just trying to extract the file the zip file we just downloaded. Okay, so this is the zip file of such. Okay, now let me share my Codex screen. Come in. Okay. So let's quickly go to Codex and okay, I hope you guys can see my screen now. I'm sharing a screen from Codex. Okay, so I'm going to click on file. So this is the agentic platform. I'll click on open folder. And then I'll import what we exported, that code we exported. And you guys are like, okay, this thing is very hard. No, it's not hard. Because Google was having issue with their own platform. So let me see, I'll just ask it. So I'll just tell you to access the file we have inside this project. No, we are not supposed to use codecs in this class, right? So the reason why we are using it is because Google AI Studio is not showing us what we built. So access the source files in this project and show and open the UI or front end in the in-app browser. So this platform, it actually has a browser in the in-app browser. So let me I just want to see what we built. I just want to see the visual view of the codes. So let's see what it's going to do. So we are not trying to build anything, right? No, we don't need. Let me switch to GPT-5. Medium. We try. So we are not trying to build anything right here. We just want to see that code. So you could see once you are using all these LLM, whether it is LLMs or now this one is owned by OpenAI. So this can actually do like this codex. It has access to almost everything in my laptop. So it is able to access that file. It will access the file and it's going to open the website right here. Let me switch on. Let me turn on my video so you guys can see that my hands are not really moving anything. So this one is just delegating a task to an agent, AI agent. So I use them a lot when I want to build. So I don't build things myself. So if I'm building something, I just create the plan of what I want to build with ChatGPT, and I hand it over to AI agents to build it out for me. So you could see that it's saying what it's doing step by step. It's listing out everything one after the other. Okay, I'll take another pass from this project route. Identify the front end stack, meaning what they use for building the front end. Then open it in your browser. Then the next thing, this is a Vite React app. I'm checking the script, the env. The env means the environment variable where you keep your secrets. I explained the other time. And then it said I will load. So it's giving us step by step. And also you notice if I click on this command, these are things, it ran this command in my terminal by itself. These are things I could do myself, but then it's doing it, implementing those things on its own. So you could see it's giving us step-by-step breakdown of what is what I'm doing, is what it's doing. The app dependencies are already present enough to try a launch. I'm also exposing the browser control hook. So the page opens in the app, not a separate window. Apart from even opening it in the in-app browser, if I actually wanted it to open this in my Chrome browser or Microsoft Edge, could as well open it, control the browser. But I'm not sure Google AI Studio can do that. So Google AI Studio cannot do that. So it's just giving us step by step what it's doing. So port 3000 is free. The app uses Firebase environment variables, but the login screen may still render enough for a visual pass. So the first launch did not bind to the port, which usually means dependencies are missing or startup failed early. I'm checking that directly and installing what the app needs. So dependencies, I don't even know what it means. Dependencies are missing, so the Vite can't actually start yet. I'm running npm install from the project rule. So it's trying to install something it needs to open this website. So that's one thing with AI agents. They are able to carry out, like, how do I say it? Like if they're working on something, just like what I explained about prompting the other time. Get me bread. If you can't find this one, check this one. If you don't have it at this store, check the other store. So that's what it's trying to do. What it needs to open this thing. Okay, it is not available. Okay, let me try this other tool if it's going to work. If this one doesn't work, it will look for something else until it's able to get that thing done. So anybody with questions, are there questions? Let's take questions. Why? Maybe it could be because we didn't even connect the back end. Maybe that's the reason why we are unable to see. Maybe that's why it's not even showing, because it just mentioned something like that. So do we have questions? Let's take, and I've been taking questions as the class is going on. So if there are questions, you could. Is it paid? Google AI Studio is free, but then there's a limit on it. There's a limit on the free tier. So there's paid, there's free, but then there is a limit. Now, why this is coming up? So I have a boot camp coming up next. So if you would love to join after the class, you could send me a DM. So it's for a month. So you learn how to build AI income systems. Apart from learning how to build software, you're learning how to earn income with different AI tools, whether it is for creating content, whether it is for marketing, it is for automation or building websites, landing pages, softwares. Yeah. So just message me after this. It costs 50,000 naira if you want to join 1 month boot camp. Yeah. But then I'm also looking at opening an affiliate for it for those who would be interested in promoting the bootcamp. So if you want to promote it as an affiliate, you get up to like 20,000 naira per 20,000 naira commission for every sales you bring in. If you also want to join, if it is as affiliate or as a student, a participant. So just message me after this class. So affiliate means you promote the bootcamp. Anyone that registers through you, you'll be given a unique link. So anyone that comes into the bootcamp with your own unique link, you get 20,000 naira. So that meaning if you bring 5 people, okay, so you could say, I'm not touching anything. You just open the browser by itself. So once it's done opening the browser, let's see, if nothing shows after it's opening the browser, so it means it is from Google AI Studio, not from, but then let's wait. So it's still working. Once it's done working, this way would know when it's done working, right here. So this thing will change to play. It will give us a breakdown of what it did. If there's a mistake somewhere, it's going to show us that there's an error in this code. So yeah, I was talking about the bootcamp. So what we are treating, what we're looking at in the bootcamp. So we're looking at AI income systems, how to build income systems. So the systems systems means structures. So structures you could build that would help you generate income using AI. So whether it is in creating digital products, so you could create digital products which you could sell, you could create courses, you could even monetize your knowledge, the things you know. So you could monetize what you know using AI. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the course of 4 weeks, 3 classes per week. I think I'll check the calendar again. I think Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Monday, Thursday, Friday, 8 p.m. every day. Each classes last between 1 to 2 hours, right? And yeah, So let's wait for what we just built. If it's going to, okay, all right. Okay, this is the, so this is the login page. But then I think what it should show us, yeah, the login page, and after that, the dashboard for the website. So I think this is the login page. Now, if you show this page to somebody, trust me, AI won't come to their mind. And the reason I'm saying that is because everything on this page is not screaming AI. The colors, the font, the design is not saying AI. It's not screaming like generic design. So let's see, maybe it's going to show us the dashboard. So that one is just the login page. So let's see if it's going to show us the, because that's actually what I want to see, the dashboard. And let's see if it will give us something generic or it's going to give us something based on what we gave it. So since we literally specified what we want, it's definitely going to give us something specific to what we want. So let's just give it, let's give it a little time. So let me tell them that class is still in session, those who did not join. See, that's the beauty of attending classes like this. For those who say they don't have laptop, don't let that be an excuse. Borrow somebody's laptop. When I started learning about using internet tools, internet technologies, then I didn't have a laptop. So I used to borrow laptop from my siblings or my friend. So don't let that be an excuse. If you have a friend who owns a laptop, borrow their laptop. Even if it's just 30 minutes, you're able to use it. Just borrow it, practice what you learned. Gemini and Google AI Studio. Leave Codex, don't, because we didn't build with Codex. We are just using Codex to just see what Google AI Studio built. I think maybe if we had used Codex from the onstart, would have seen what we built since. So look for someone with laptop, borrow their laptop, use it. Don't use that as an can a Chromebook do the work? I think so. You should be able to do the work. In as much as you can ask, it can open websites. Maybe it's able to open website on it here to work. Okay, so it seems what okay, I also installed the project. Okay, I want to ask you a question. So I'm asking it if it was only login page that was in the source code, files, because I was expecting to see like the dashboard. So there's supposed to be a dashboard and all of that. So there's supposed to be a cosplayer page, a dashboard, and all of that. Yeah, so I was expecting to see the other pages as well, not only the login page. But trust me, if I saw these websites, my mind will not go to AI. Seriously, if I saw these websites, my mind wouldn't go to AI like, oh, Someone used AI to build this website. And the reason is because one, the font, that's number one. Then number two would be the choice of colors. This light color, maybe what I could do, I could change. This one is it's still dark. I could look for one that is the same color but a lighter one. Yeah, maybe the same color, a lighter one. So let's see. So right now it's going to show us other pages because we are expecting, like, if you check this other part. So and this thing worked for only how many minutes? It worked for 11 minutes. So it gave us the login page, and then we're supposed to see this is the login page. So the next page you are looking at, maybe it will give us the dashboard and the course player where people could access the courses. Yeah. So I was talking before while it was building, so it's still building. Okay, I think the next page is going to open will be the dashboard. So we'll see the dashboard. After the dashboard, we check the course player page where people could access the course. And after that, we just call it a wrap. So the next thing is, what I just want you guys to do is practice, build something, then send it to the group. So that's how you learn. So don't just watch and then you just leave it there. So it is, you learn, then you put what you learned into practice. So that's the best way to learn. Now, trust me, most AI class you would attend, rarely would you see a class that is as practical as this. Rarely. I've been attending a lot of AI trainings. I rarely see practical classes. I rarely see practical. I think this week I attended how many trainings, unless I check my calendar. I was on attended, it wasn't yesterday, maybe Thursday or Wednesday. I was expecting it to be like a really practical class, but then it wasn't. The one I attended yesterday was still a little bit practical. But then they were promoting one of their boot camp. I think their boot camp was like $1,000, $1,900. Like, yo. So as I was saying, we have a boot camp coming up next month. It starts on the 3rd of August, 3rd of August to, I think, 28th of August. Let me check the date to be sure. Yep, 3rd of August to the 28th of August. And it costs only 50,000 naira. It's a 4 weeks boot camp. And there are two things. You could join as a participant or you could join as an affiliate. So if you're joining as an affiliate, it means you want to promote the bootcamp. So for every student who comes in, any participant that joins with your own unique link, you get paid 20,000 naira for every person you refer. What it means is that if you refer 5 people, you are making 100,000 naira. And if you're able to refer 20, so that means you are getting paid 200,000 naira. So I will employ you guys, take advantage of it, join the bootcamp if you can join. If you cannot join as an affiliate, promote it, make money, promote it, earn money by promoting it, then register for the bootcamp, the 1 week bootcamp. All right, so this is the website. So this is what we just built. So this is the edge. This is just the minimum viable, just as when we started. So this is let me see. Okay, this is the dashboard. And this should be library. The library is not open, but then that should be the library. and this is login page. So that's the login page. Let me see. Let me open this one. So let's see if we can open the course page. Okay, this is the course page. Okay, so this is where people could watch the courses. Okay, so if I was this, I'm literally going to use this thing for one of my learning platforms. But this is not I just used Upsurge. Upsurge was a nickname given to me at my previous place of employment by one of my friends. Very funny people. So that's it. I hope you guys really learned something. I hope you guys actually learned something from this class. So what I'm expecting from you guys this weekend, build something, then share it with a group. So build something just like the physical class. The 3 people who came, they built something and it was shared with the group. And then we're having the next physical class in, I think maybe October. I will share the new date. I'll share details about that with you guys. So the replay, let's see, maybe hopefully tomorrow we can get the replay across to us so we can all watch it and then practice and practice. So do you have any questions? If there are no questions, we'll be wrapping up the class if there are no questions. So any questions from any quarter? Anyone with questions before I call it a night? Let me see. Let me check this again. So we could see how you could use, so what we learned today, so let me just do a recap of what we learned. So what we learned today was how to use Gemini and Google AI Studio. But what you're watching on your screen right now, what you're seeing on your screen right now is not Gemini or Google AI Studio. This is Codex. Codex is owned by OpenAI, the people who own ChatGPT. So Codex is an agentic platform which you can use to build anything buildable. When you build a house, so you can use it to build a software, mobile apps, web apps, anything. Just think of it, anything you can think of, right? But we built this with Google AI Studio. So we used Google AI Studio for the building, to build it. But because Google AI Studio was having issues, it was not showing us what we built. So we just had to import it into Codex just to see a view of what we just built. And trust me, this thing looked really nice. I like it. I'm going to develop it more and then show, maybe before the end of the week, I will show us the full entire page. So you guys can see that, yes, you could really build stuff with AI. This user, Xiaomi. So anyone who wants to join the bootcamp, just shoot me a DM in the group. From the group, just send a DM. And then I'll tell you the next step. If you're joining as an affiliate, let me know. So you'll be added to the affiliate group. The necessary resources. There are 3 trainings, how to sell as an affiliate, and then you get everything. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. So I'm going to get the replay across to us, maybe probably tonight or tomorrow. Everyone is going to get the replay. So cheers, everyone. Have an amazing night. The most important thing which I'm going to tell us is to ensure that's the most crucial thing, is that you literally practice. So that's the most important thing, you practice. So it's not just about, okay, I've watched this class. Okay, that's just, no. That's just the beginning. The most important aspect is to what practice. The way I mastered all this thing, and I'm still learning. I won't say master. The only way I knew about this thing because I used it. I started building with it. I didn't attend any class like this. That someone walked me through how to build with Codex, build with no. Nobody taught me how to build with Codex. I saw it. Okay, I saw people talking about it. I installed it, my laptop, And the very first thing I did with it was just like, okay, let me just organize all the files on my laptop. And it organized all the files. I'm like, wow. Then I started studying, okay, what are the use cases? What can I use it to do? And I saw different things I could use it to do. And I started using it to do all those things. I showed you guys something I built. Let me see. Where's Codex? I hope you guys can see the screen. I was trying to show you guys. I don't know. Let's see. Shop lens, Basel. This one I'm still working on it. I have something I started working on this week. So you can see that most of the projects I build, they are not like rarely. By the time I'm done with this thing, rarely would anyone be able to like identify if it was built with AI or not. Because you could see that it has. I'm so specific with picking my colors, with picking the what's it called? The color, the typography. So just follow what I taught from the beginning. Those who joined late, once you get the recording on the group, watch it, go through it one after the other, and then you practice. If you have a question, drop it in the group. If you face any challenge along the way, ask questions in the group, and then it will be attended. To. So thank you all for staying to the end of this class. What I just want to see from, okay, you're not in the group chat. Check your email. If you're not in the group chat, check your email address because I've been sent to you. So I sent the link to the group to everyone's email. So check your email. Just search Luma or just search my name. So the very first email you received has the link to join the group. So maybe I'm going to send another email to join the group again. Yeah, so build, show us what you built in the group. Yeah, just build, show us what you built in the group. So that's the essence of this class. Show you guys what is possible, what you could do, what you could build with AI tools. And that is how we wrap up tonight's AI Builders Masterclass. So more information about the bootcamp will be sent to everyone's emails and to the group. So have a good evening, everyone.